Hey everyone, welcome back. When most people hear the word amber, they think about jewelry, fossils, or ancient history. But today's episode goes somewhere completely different. Today we're exploring how a material formed millions of years ago is quietly influencing the future of science, technology, and long-term preservation. Because amber isn't just helping scientists understand the past, it's helping them design the future. A question scientists are seriously asking. Here's the question that started it all. How can we preserve biological material, chemical information, and delicate structures for extremely long periods of time? Not for decades, not for centuries, but for thousands, even millions of years. This isn't science fiction. This is a real problem faced by museums, genetic researchers, conservation scientists, climate archives, space agencies, data preservation researchers. And surprisingly, one of the natural materials providing useful answers is amber. Why amber fascinates preservation scientists. Amber has an extraordinary property. It can stabilize delicate structures for geological timescales. Scientists studying amber have documented preservation of microscopic tissues, cellular outlines, insect anatomy, plant fragments, pollen grains, fine surface textures, complex three-dimensional structures. From a scientific perspective, amber behaves like a natural encapsulation system. That means researchers aren't just studying amber for what it contains. They're studying how it preserves. This has sparked interest across several modern scientific fields. Amber as a model for long-term encapsulation. In material science, there's an entire field dedicated to encapsulation technologies. Encapsulation means protecting something sensitive by sealing it inside a stable material. Applications include protecting pharmaceuticals, preserving vaccines, stabilizing DNA samples, long-term storage of biological data, protecting electronics in harsh environments. Researchers study amber to understand how organic molecules survive long-term isolation, how oxygen diffusion is slowed, how moisture is blocked, how microstructures remain stable, how polymer networks evolve over extreme time. Amber becomes a natural reference model for designing advanced synthetic materials. Amber in space research. Here's where things get really interesting. Space agencies and astrobiology researchers study amber for a very specific reason. How can biological structures remain stable in extreme environments? When scientists design experiments for space missions, they must consider radiation exposure, vacuum conditions, temperature extremes, long-term material stability, preservation of biological samples. Amber provides a naturally occurring example of how organic material can be isolated from external conditions, protected from degradation, structurally stabilized, preserved across immense timescales. Some research teams use amber as a comparative reference when developing protective matrices for biological experiments on spacecraft. Not because they want to use amber itself in space, but because they want to understand the mechanisms that make amber such an effective natural protector. Could amber inspire long-term biological archives? Around the world, scientists are building biological archives. These include frozen seed banks, genetic sample libraries, microbial repositories, biodiversity, DNA collections. The challenge is enormous. How do you store biological material safely for centuries? Freezers fail, electricity fails, institutions collapse, technology becomes obsolete. So researchers are exploring passive preservation systems, materials that don't rely on power or infrastructure. Amber demonstrates that under the right conditions, organic structures can survive for tens of millions of years. That has led to experimental research into resin-based synthetic polymers, biocompatible encapsulation materials, long-term sample stabilization, oxygen-resistant coatings. Amber is not the solution, but it's an incredibly valuable inspiration model. Amber and the science of deep-time data storage. Another surprising area where Amber is influencing thinking: long-term data preservation. Modern society stores knowledge digitally, but digital formats degrade quickly. Hard drives fail, servers collapse, file formats become unreadable. Cloud systems depend on constant maintenance. Some scientists and engineers are now asking, what would a storage medium look like if we wanted information to survive for tens of thousands of years? Amber offers a thought-provoking natural example. Stable structure, resistant to moisture, resistant to many chemical processes, capable of preserving microscopic details, remains intact over extreme time. This has inspired research into ultra-stable polymers, mineral-based data storage, microscopic engraving methods, nanostructured recording surfaces, materials designed for deep-time archives. Amber becomes part of a larger interdisciplinary discussion: how to design materials that outlast civilizations. Architecture and conservation science learn from Amber. Conservation scientists responsible for preserving cultural heritage also study amber. They examine how amber resists environmental fluctuations, slow chemical breakdown, biological degradation, long-term structural collapse. This informs how museums design protective coating, display cases, humidity control systems, storage materials for fragile artifacts. Amber's behavior under long-term environmental exposure helps conservation experts predict how organic artifacts might age and how to slow that process. Modern experiments inspired by amber's structure. Some laboratories are now experimenting with synthetic materials inspired by amber's molecular structure. These experiments explore resin-like polymers with improved longevity, bio-based plastics with slow degradation encapsulation gels for fragile components, protective layers for sensors and microelectronics, coatings for underwater or extreme environments. These materials are not copies of amber. They are engineering responses to the questions amber raises. Why does this material last so long? How can we replicate its stability? What molecular features make it so resistant to decay? Amber becomes a teacher. Why this is so important? This episode isn't about nostalgia, it's about innovation. The future faces enormous challenges. Preserving biodiversity records, storing medical samples, archiving climate data, maintaining knowledge for future generations, designing materials that outlast current technologies. Amber offers scientists a rare example of proven long-term material survival. Not theoretical, not simulated, but demonstrated by nature itself. A 40-million-year-old natural polymer still exists, still stable, still analyzable, still intact. That's remarkable. A material that bridges deep past and deep future. Think about what that means. Amber formed when prehistoric forests covered the earth. It trapped fragments of that world and preserved them. Today, scientists study amber not only to learn about that ancient past, but to design systems that might help future civilizations understand our world. Amber connects ancient ecosystems, modern laboratories, future preservation technologies, long-term thinking about humanity's legacy. Very few natural materials do that. Amber is often described as a window into the past, but it may also be a blueprint for the future, not through speculation, not through symbolism, but through chemistry, physics, materials science, and engineering. A natural substance created by trees millions of years ago is now influencing how humans think about preservation, longevity, stability, resilience, and deep time. And that might be amber's most surprising role of all. If you stayed to the end, you've just explored a side of amber that almost nobody talks about. Yet it may become one of the most important scientific perspectives on this extraordinary material. And in the next episode, we'll explore another hidden dimension of amber that continues to reshape how scientists understand the natural world.